everybody, JC here with another T&I toy review. And today's review is in association with MarvelousNews.com, your #1 news source for everything Marvel. And for today's review, we're going to take a look at the new Marvel Infinite Series 4-inch Big Time Spider-Man figure from Hasbro. And this figure comes packaged in the same standardized packaging we've seen with all the Infinite Series figures. You've got that black card back with the Marvel Infinite Series logo up top, the Avengers icons below that, and then the figure clearly displayed on the card back. Then on the back of the packaging we have a little brief bio in multiple languages. We have a look at the actual figure, and then down below we see some other figures in the wave. Okay, so let's get this open and take a look at what's inside. Okay, so here's a look at the figure outside of the packaging, and you know, I've got to be upfront with you, and I'm not particularly excited about this figure. I've never been a huge fan of this costume for Spider-Man, and so, you know, I'm kind of like, you know, why did Hasbro even do this figure? But, you know, we got it in 6-inch form, so I guess, you know, they decided to shrink it down to 4-inch. But you know, the overall detail on the figure is pretty, you know, lackluster to me. You know, he's got it's all black. It's just, you know, basic black paint, and then he's got the green stripes, which, you know, are somewhat neon, but to me, you know, should actually be more neon. It, you know, from what I've seen, remember in the comics and stuff, this should almost look like it's lighting up, and so it's more of a lime green to me that they use than actual neon. So that in its own right, you know, it doesn't even really, to me, capture the overall look of the Big Time Spider-Man, unfortunately. He does have the striping all in the front, on his arms, on the underside of his arms, on his back. He's got the, you know, spider on his back. So, but again, I just think that this should be a brighter, you know, almost, you know, light up type neon green that they use, and to me it's more just, like I said, lime. It would be cool if maybe they made it even so it like glowed in the dark or something, but it doesn't. I checked. So the figure stands just a little bit over 4 inches tall. He is bigger than that Amazing Spider-Man figure from the first Spider-Man figure they did for the Marvel Universe line. You can see he's definitely taller than that one. Here is next to the Iron Spider-Man figure done for the Marvel Universe line, and they're about the same height. The Daredevil figure that's released in this wave, again, they're about the same height. And then here he is next to the Sandman figure released in this wave, and Sandman's a bit taller. So scale overall seems to be pretty good with this figure. Articulation is pretty much the same kind of lackluster articulation we've seen with the other figures in this wave, which is even more unfortunate with a character like Spider-Man. You know, don't expect to get him in any kind of cool, agile, web-swinging poses or anything like that. The head is on a ball joint. He can look left and right, but he has no up or down movement. Standard ball hinge joints at the shoulder, so he can get his arms all the way out, and he's got good rotation at the arm. No bicep swivel. Does have the swivel at the elbow. Single hinged elbow, so he can bend his elbow about that much. No wrist articulation. The left hand is sculpted with a, you know, that web shooting pose. The other hand is just a regular kind of open pose. No midsection articulation. Legs are attached with your ball joints. He can do the splits about that much. He can get his leg forward good, but he can't really do his leg back very much. No thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. No swivel at the knee though. And then he does have the ankle pivot. And 2 peg holes on the bottom of his feet. So that's my review. Overall, you know, again, I can't really say this is a terribly exciting figure. You know, the design of the costume never did much for me to begin with. I never picked up the Marvel Legends version, and to be honest, the only reason why I ended up with this one is because it came in the case with the other figures. The lack of articulation, especially for a Spider-Man character, you know, really hurts this figure, even if you like the costume. But again, I just, the paint apps are nothing special. It's just basic black with the green, which to me should be a little bit more neon than what it is. It's not horrible or anything, but it's not spectacular either. And so that, plus the lack of articulation, plus just the fact that this version of Spider-Man is just not one that I'm particularly fond of to begin with, doesn't make this a figure that I could highly recommend. Maybe, if you're a huge Spider-Man fan and you like to get, all the different costumes that we've seen for Spider-Man, then you may want to pick this one up. Otherwise, the only other person I might recommend this figure to is Shartimus Prime, so that he can do his big-time letdown Spider-Man comparisons with the Marvel Legends and the Marvel Universe, a mini big-time letdown Spider-Man figure. But otherwise, like I said, I would probably say this is a pass if you're seeing it in the store. These figures are hitting shelves and online e-tailers now, so if you want to pick it up, start checking now. And as always, leave a comment, let us know what you think. If you're so inclined, please like the video, and if you haven't already, please subscribe, and until next time, I'll catch you later.